Hey guys, Civilord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be continuing our looks at the DC Multiverse Batman Forever wave with Mr. Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. This, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys and is only the second Two-Face figure we've ever gotten in the life of the DC Multiverse line from the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. Kind of interesting, we haven't got a comic book version of this guy yet. Kind of interesting, we've gotten two DC Collectibles Batman animated related reissues of this guy before we've gotten any sort of comic representation of him. I mean, we got, what, 4 Mr. Freezes? I think there's even a few Riddlers, but I'm going to say that this guy, in my opinion, is the unsung hero this way because everyone's talking about Val Kilmer, everyone's talking about Chris O'Donnell, and of course everyone's talking about Jim Carrey. I hear a lot of people talk about Tommy Lee Jones. This figure is pretty freaking rad, dude. So, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase, get into meat and taters of this review, and take a look-see at all Two-Face has to offer in terms of accessories. Starting off with a couple extra hands. He's got a fist hand, which is all burnt to crap. And then he does have a normal hand with a coin flip effect going on in there. It's not the best thing ever, but for the price, it's not bad. Looks pretty good, right? That said, he's got 2 trigger finger hands, and that can only mean one thing. He did not come with this. This is from the first McFarlane Toys munitions pack. This is a Tommy gun, I believe. And I will be displaying my Two-Face with this because it just makes sense for him. That said, he did get a collectible trading card for all the good it'll do you. And of course, he's got the trademark hockey puck display stand we're using with all McFarlane Toys releases. Putting that to the side. They did a bang-up job with the paint apps on this guy. Look at all the colors. Super clean, lots of texture on the suit. His arms go down all the way. 3 Joker figures. I'm looking at you. Y'all can do that. And then he's got his crazy effed up face with the burnt to crap kind of Spawn side and the regular side. Now, truth be told, wasn't Lando Calrissian supposed to be Two-Face? And they changed him to Tommy Lee Jones. I cannot remember his real name, but he used to do the Colt 45 thing. Those of you who are into old school memes. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head will rotate, look up, pretty good, down, tilt side to side, pretty good as well. Shoulders will go up, back down, rotate all the way around. He does have a bit of cap action in there. He's got a thigh or bicep swivel, thigh swivel. What the heck? Double jointed elbow, kind of chunky, but he's wearing a suit, so that's not really surprising. Now the hands, this hand, at least for me, the trigger hand is a little loose on that peg, but it does hinge up and down. It will rotate, and it rotates in the hand itself. This hand, however, it's not as loose. So if anything, I might just swap the fist onto this side and have him hold the Tommy gun with one hand. Said his torso feels like some kind of weird double wall peg. You can get rotation out of it. He does lean a little bit, but not a lot. He does have a little something sticking out back here. I don't know if that's something I can turn. Maybe get situated, but have it turn that way, and then see if I can't turn his upper torso, hide that more. But that's something that might need to take him apart to do that. I'm not sure, but he does have a little something sticking out of the back here, and I think it's a sockets piece or a joint of some kind. It's just ball peg, so if I heated him up, I could probably get it off. I'm trying to think, is his coat glued? I think it is. Because if it wasn't glued, I could just take the arms off and straighten it, but that's not going to happen. I do believe the coat is glued. It is. So his hips, they'll kick forward and back, out, back down. He does not seem to have any thigh cut whatsoever. He's got a little bit. Alright, so it's a tiny bit. Double knee. Nice and crunchy. A little chunky too, but he doesn't have the sharp points that we're used to seeing. Then as far as the ankles go, they will rotate, hinge, pivot. It's a very clicky pivot. And he's got toe joints that are tight on both sides. Look at that. I will say it does feel like this foot gets more range than this one. So if it's maybe in more, but there is Tommy Lee Jones in a nutshell. It's giving Jim Carrey a run for his money, but how do you get better than Jim Carrey, man? He just looks, aesthetically, he looks really freaking cool. I like him a lot. So, very glad I picked him up. Glad I picked this whole wave up. I mean, I'm not the biggest Batman Forever expert, but I do appreciate some campy cheeseball 90s goodness, if I do say so myself. So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, alongside the other villain from this Batman Forever wave, Mr. Jim Carrey as the Riddler, and of course, Val Kilmer as the Dark Knight himself. And one thing I didn't notice about good old Tommy Lee Jones before is he's pretty freaking tall. I mean, to the top of his head, he's about as tall as Val Kilmer is to the top of his bat ears. So, very interesting indeed. Getting these two out of here. Bringing our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandiboleth. Right there. And the infamous Ultimate Spawn, who is probably about neck and neck with, he's a little bit taller, but not enough to be towering. So, with that being said, time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from not coming with the freaking Tommy gun I have him holding here, because Warner Bros. Is gonna Warner Bros. Thanks, McFarlane, for giving us the weapons packs. I have to say that good old Tommy Lee Jones is probably one of the best figures of this wave, on top of the fact that he's not overly loose like the Batman and Robin we took a look at yesterday. They did a pretty bang-up job with the crazy, and I mean crazy, paint job that this guy's suit design entails. I mean, just look at all the color on this figure, and you get that cool coin flipping hand as well. On top of the fact that, of course, the Tommy Lee Jones likeness is pretty solid too. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.